Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, then don't forget to subscribe. Today's video is going to be a brow tutorial. I've been getting questions on how I fill in my brows, how I shape them, and all of that stuff. They actually didn't really need to be too touched up today, like as in plucking and shaping and stuff, but I did kind of show you like what I would do if I am going to, clean them up and stuff. This is basically just like what products I use to fill them in and shape them. My brows, to be honest, come out different every time I do them. I mean, I feel like everybody has that issue. They're never going to look the same. Sometimes they come out thicker, sometimes they come out thinner, but this is pretty much just what my typical brow routine consists of. I hope that this video is helpful for you guys. I'm going to do a talk over video, so I did film myself filling them in, and I'm going to do a talk through kind of explaining what I'm doing, because it kind of is hard to talk and fill them in at the same time. So I figured I would just film me filling them in and stuff, and then I'm just gonna tell you guys what I'm doing. So if you guys like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. So without further ado, if you guys want to see how I fill in my brows, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first we are going to comb through our brows. So I'm just going to comb them upwards. This is what I typically do before I shape them. So I'm going to go in and trim them. I like these little scissors. So when I comb the hairs up, I can see where I want to trim them, where they are too long. You want to be very careful with this step because you don't want to make any mistakes. So I just kind of swipe the hairs away, and then I will comb them to the side and then cut any hairs that are too long. Like I said, be very, very careful when doing this step because you don't want to take like a huge chunk out. So then I will comb my brows down and just slightly trim those hairs. So once I do that, I'm going to comb everything back in place and just make sure that it is where I want my hairs to be. And then I am going to go in and comb the other eyebrow and do the same step. And once I've done that, I'm going to go in with tweezers and I'm going to just clean up underneath my brows. My brows actually weren't bad at all this day, so I just went in and tweezed a few hairs that were out of place. For some reason, the lighting is really bright, so my face is getting kind of washed out along with my eyebrows, which my eyebrows are definitely looking non-existent, which I apologize for because I do have eyebrows, but I'm just going to finish tweezing, and then I usually like to go in and line up the spoolie to see where everything is lined up. The front should start where the corner of your eye starts, and then the arch is where the end of your pupil is, and then the end of the tail should be where the corner of your eye ends. Once I've done that, I'm going to go in with this little tiny razor that you can actually find anywhere. They come in packs of 3, I think. So I'm going to go in, and I like doing this step just to remove any unwanted like little tiny blonde hairs. So this just really cleans everything up around your brows. And like I said, you want to be very careful when it comes to anything, sharp near your eyes. So just take your time with this because it will show in the end. I just kind of like press the blade slightly up against my brows. I'm not really taking any actual hairs of my brows out, but I'm just cleaning up like the peach fuzz. So let's zoom you in, and I'm going in with my favorite brow pencil of all time. This is the Brow Definer, and it's by the brand Anastasia. So what I like to do to start filling them in is always start at the end, and I start wherever I want my arch to begin. So I will just go in and kind of angle it down and form the arch that I want, and then I will just kind of follow the line. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you watch, you will see what I mean. I'm just kind of brushing the pencil in the direction that your hairs would naturally grow. And once I get the tail of my brow, I will start to work toward my brow, towards the front of the brow. The reason why I don't start in the front of my brow is because it can tend to look way too harsh. So what I like to do is go in and comb the hairs as I'm filling them in, and you will see me do this a few times throughout the video. It just kind of smooths everything out. And here I am going back in with the tweezers and just removing some more unwanted hair. Once I fill them in, I can kind of see the shape that I want, and that's why I do that. And then I will just go back in with my definer and really define the end of the tail of my brow. So here I'm just going back to the front of my brow, and I'm just kind of flicking my pencil, and then towards the front of my brow I want it to be more natural. So I'm turning my brush, or not my brush, but my pencil, and I'm just going to kind of flick it upwards and then go back in and comb it once again, and then go back in and start creating more fake hairs, and really just smoothing out the edges. I just really take my time when it comes to this, because if you just go in and just draw it on really quickly, you're going to get a really fake looking eyebrow. So you just want to just take your time and really do small strokes, and that's what's going to make the brows look like actual hairs. So here I'm just taking my pencil and I'm defining the underneath of my brow and making sure that's really defined, and then just kind of feathering it in and really going over the tail of the brow. And then I'm going to show you this step. I don't do this all the time, but this is the Anastasia dip brow. Sometimes I use this without any pencil, but I'm just going to show you guys what I typically will do if I use the pencil and the pomade. So I'll go in with the angled brush and dip it in the pomade, and then I will just focus this just on the tail of my eyebrow, just to really smooth things out and kind of fill in any places that the brow pencil didn't really fill in. And there I was showing you that I'm stabilizing my hand with my pinky. This just ensures like a really clean line, and to make sure that your hand is nice and steady. So here I'm going in with my Brow Fix kit by the brand Milani, and this is just a powder brow kit. I sometimes will use this powder just to fill in my brows and won't even use the pencil, but like I said, for the sake of the video, I wanted to show you guys all the different steps that you could do. Also, I'm using the powder to set the pomade. You don't always have to set the pomade, but I do find that sometimes it will slide around if you do not set it with powder, so that is why I'm doing that. And I'm also flicking the powder in the front of my brows just to fill them in just a little bit, and then I'm just going to brush through my brows again. And now for my favorite part, we are going to be cleaning up the underneath of the brows and just really making them perfect. So I'm going in with a Morphe brush. I will have it listed down below, and this concealer just from the drugstore. I will have everything listed down below. And I'm going to really carve out the underneath of my brow. I find this step just really finishes off the eyebrows. It just really cleans up any mistakes if you had, missed a hair, or if you even just overdrew your brows. This step really comes in handy. So even if you are really sloppy with your brows, you can always go in and clean them up after, and it just gives you a really nice clean effect. So I'm just going in and now feathering the concealer and just making sure it's really blending. And just on the top, I'm going to do the same thing. I did not dip back into the concealer because I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm just using whatever's left over on the brush. And I find that when you use a thicker concealer, it works better. So that is why I'm using this concealer. I'm pretty sure it's the CoverGirl concealer. It's like, I think it's like $4 or something. So I find that when it's too watery, it kind of just slides around. So if you use a thicker concealer, it works best to clean up the brows with. And then I'm just going back in with my pencil and just really making sure everything is nice and crisp and cleaned up, and that we have a nice point going on. And then I'm going in with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This stuff is like hairspray for your eyebrows. It is amazing, and I do this all the time, so I'm just going to brush through my brows and really just kind of set them where I want them to be. So this last step is definitely optional, but I'm going in with my Benefit Highbrow. This stuff is just really nice because it just really brightens up that underneath of your brow because it has like a pink undertone. So I just place this like right underneath the arch, and then I will go in with any highlight shade. Today I went in with the Too Faced Bon Bon palette, and I just set this underneath my eyebrow, and it just gives you a nice lift. So that is the completed eyebrow. I'm going to do the other eyebrow, but I'm going to put it in fast motion just because this video would be so long if I didn't. But before I go, I just wanted to let you guys know that it definitely is a process to get your eyebrows the shape that you want them. And I'm not talking like filling them in wise, I'm talking just like normal. In high school, I definitely was not proud of my eyebrows. They were way too skinny, and I definitely went too heavy on the plucking. So I just recommend really growing them in and then reshaping them the shape that you want them. So it took me a while to grow the little hairs in the front. It definitely was frustrating because I had the arch going, but the front of my brow was like missing hairs. So I definitely had to let them grow in and then reshape them the way that I wanted to. So it definitely took a little while, so just be patient. So yeah, I'm going to just fast forward this video like I said. So enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.
Crack it.